गुड इवनिंग एवरीवन। कैसे हैं आप लोग और कैसा है आपका लॉकडाउन? I hope you all are excited. I'm super excited to meet all of you on this Friday evening. So quickly tell me who all have joined. Where are you from? Hi Sujit, so good to see you already live with us. How is everyone doing today? Good evening. Super excited. Also waiting for all of you to give your name, which city are you from, and tell me who is our specialist today, who have we invited to meet all of you. Great, Sujit. Hi, Richa Sharma. How are you? Lovely. It's a great evening, and I'm so glad to see all of you. Hi, Rashmi. How are you doing today? So good to see you. Good evening. Super excited. Today's personality is very, very, very interesting. He is himself very fit, and I am sure you have a lot of questions from for him. Great, Richa from Mumbai. We have Madhu here. Hi, Madhu. How are you doing? Rashmi is from Pune. Great. Lovely. So, for all of those who have joined for the very first time, Namaskar, Sat Sri Akal. I'm Aarti Pandey, co-founder of Folk Fitness, and really excited to invite all of you with Answer Corona today. Before that, let me tell all of our audiences that we have a very special webinar on freedom from PCOS, the one that we've been talking about for the last 3 months, that's our mission. 1 in every 5 women is facing PCOS, which is polycystic ovarian syndrome. Yes. And in just 2 days, we have come up with a webinar for you this Sunday, 11 a.m. sharp. There's a link that you see, which is the link to join that webinar. It's absolutely complimentary. In that webinar, we're going to talk about what is PCOS, what is its impact, what are the root causes, and the 5 pillars to get freedom from it. So don't waste any time. Join that webinar, share it with all the women who you know, who are you're a well-wisher for, and make sure that they make the most of this. Now, let us invite our today's special guest. So, good evening, Dr. Yogesh Tata. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great.
Lovely, sir. Thank you for accepting our invite and being a part of the Folk Fitness Answer Corona. So, for our audiences, we have with us Dr. Yogesh Satav, sir, today. He's a practicing pediatrician in Pune since last 8 years. He's a marathoner, a trekker, a Ironman, 70.3 triathlete, and have recently qualified for 2020 Ironman. 70.3 World Championships. Wow, sir, that is amazing. He's also the founder and mentor of Runaholics, a running club in Pune with over 200 members. So before we start about anything else, I would like to know, how did you start Runaholics and what was your passion that took you to becoming an Ironman and qualifying for the 2020 World Championship?
Okay, thanks for the introduction. See, every good thing starts with some kind of a boredom, history of boredom. So I have been a runner since my college days. I have been running 3 to 5 kilometers just to keep my fitness or my weight in check. So when I started my practice, I got married a year after, and then I moved to Hadapsar, Pune, and the things here are not like normal. So you don't get empty roads to run on. So it's very difficult. So out of that thing, I just contacted a few of my colleagues that let's start running together. So we started running together. 5 of us were there. So I'm not the only founder of Runolix. We 5 were the founders, and we started running at Pune Racecourse. And from there on, our fitness journey, we started participating the events. So with running events, it's like when you participate one event, you get motivated to such an extent that you start you are like you want to participate more and more and try to improve your timings. Not just that, you meet a lot of like-minded people who are interested in your fitness journey. Normally no one finds a person in our friend among our friend list who is much interested in fitness and all those kind of things. So when you go to running events, you make new friends who have common interests, and that's the most important thing about this. And just when we started running, you must have heard it in news that this, I just forgot his name. He completed an Ironman along with Kaustubh Radkar of Pune, the famous
Milind Soman.
celebrity. I just
Milind Soman.
forgot of
Milind Soman.
Milind Soman, right?
Yes.
So, so that was our 5 year plan in 2015. That in 5 years we'll
Wow.
be doing a Ironman just like him. Yeah. So unfortunately, because of COVID, we won't be doing Ironman this year. So Ironman is double the distance that I have completed until now. I have completed 70.3, and Ironman is 140.6 miles. So it is double the distance. So that was our 5 year plan. So probably with everything going well from here on, we might plan a Ironman event next year. And it's not just me, I'll be taking along with me 10 or 15 members from my group as well. So that will
Wow.
be a great thing for every one of us here.
Sir, I must truly say it's inspirational because normally my image of a doctor as a child is someone with a paunch or someone who's not fit. But to see doctors actually taking fitness so seriously, I'm sure the kids who come to you look up to you and get influenced and want to become someone who is like you. So that's amazing, sir. On that note, let's start today's topic. Sir, there are a lot of people who've been asking us what special should we do for kids immunity, and because it's lockdown and because it's all about Corona, my first question is how to increase immunity of our children, as that's the need of the hour.
Okay, immunity is usually affected by multiple factors. It's not just one thing, you eat good and you are immune. So it is affected by not just your nutrition, but with your level of fitness or how active you are throughout the day, and also by your sleep.
Correct.
So with nutrition, we need to have a proper nutrition. We need to have right amount of different types of nutrients into our diet, and that just doesn't concern the macronutrients. You should have a good or ample amount of micronutrients as well. Your diet should also contain a lot of antioxidants and anti-inflammatory foods. Let me tell you what the antioxidants are. They are very freely available, but it's just that we don't know about it. And probably by now, because of Corona, everyone is researching on all those things, and many of us know what they are. So, like vitamin C, vitamin D, vitamin A, several minerals like zinc, and also omega fatty acids, and also the common thing that we use in our day-to-day kitchen, that is the turmeric. It is a very good anti-inflammatory factor. The second thing is exercise. Kids need to be active throughout the day, so being active and doing regular exercises, they can be organized exercises or non-organized exercises. These exercises improve your immunity. Most of us know that. So at least 30 minutes of rigorous or aerobic exercises improves your immunity. And the third and most important thing is sleep. If you are sleeping adequately, then there are certain factors which are secreted more in deep sleep, like cytokines and T cells. There is increasing the level of cytokines and T cells, which improve your immunity in deep sleep. So those are the three most important things to improve your immunity. Now, there are certain nutritional guidelines regarding to that. The ones which I follow with the kids is, or the ones which I convey them is, have turmeric milk twice a day and no added sugar here. Only turmeric and milk. It should be warm. Secondly, have vitamin C rich foods like amla, which is very freely available, and other citrus fruits. Then have various kinds of seeds. With seeds, I mean pumpkin seeds, flax seeds, watermelon seeds, and papaya seeds. Those kinds of seeds are freely available in market. You can have those. Give just a spoonful of them to kids. Roast it and give a spoonful of them. They are very tasty. It's just that they don't look good. So you have to make your kid eat them for first a few days, and then they get used to it. You can also give dry fruits, certain dry fruits like almonds, walnuts, Then vitamin A rich foods. It is a season of vitamin A rich food. The king of the fruits, what we call mango, has got very good antioxidant and anti-inflammatory potential. So having mango, which is rich in vitamin A, and also papayas is very important in these times. And also we have to avoid synthetic sugars. You have to sugars have this pro-inflammatory properties, so it's better to avoid sugar totally. If not possible, just avoid foods that contain added synthetic sugar, like the processed foods.
Correct.
That's it. And other than that, having a healthy habit is very important.
Wow. So I hope all the mommies, we have almost 65 of them listening to us. I hope all of you've got what you should give to your child. Sir has been really nice to give us exactly what foods you can start giving it to them. So please give turmeric milk without sugar. He's very specific. It has pro-inflammatory chemicals. So please ensure properties. So please ensure you're not giving sugar. Avoid processed foods. Enjoy papaya, enjoy mango, and the seeds with them. Thank you so much, sir. So tell me, what are the preventive measures, best practices to be taken for kids now, especially now considering the COVID case, which is increasing ever than before?
The first and most important thing is the kids should not leave your homes or societies. Okay, that's the first thing. If at all it is necessary, then you can ask the kids to put on masks. Normally kids are very resistant to putting on masks, younger kids especially.
Yes.
But then if make that as a condition to get out of your houses. So that's another thing. The second thing is avoid, ensure that your kids wash their hands regularly with soap. Then whenever you are going out, carry hand sanitizers. Make sure your kids don't touch surfaces outside your homes. And when kids go out and they come back home, make sure that they bath properly before doing anything else. Okay, that's the important thing. Then the nutritional recommendations has to be followed as I told you during the previous question. Exercise is another thing. Now most of the kids are home these days, and most of the parents as well. They are working from home or at home as well. So they can ensure that kids are exercising at least little bit, 15, 20 minutes, 30 minutes a day. It should not be 30 minutes continuously. You can divide it into 5, 10 minutes in the morning, 20 minutes in the evening. And another thing is sleep. Now kids are very resistant to sleeping. They don't like to sleep at all. So make a rule that you switch off the lights at 10 p.m. or 11 p.m. at night, so that no activity is permitted after 10 or 11 p.m. So that makes kids to sleep. And once kids are asleep, they usually don't get up early.
Correct.
You have to make them wake up. So if they are sleeping properly, then their immunity is going to increase. So those are the things.
Awesome, sir. So I hope you all have heard that he's given you hygiene prevention methods and also what you can do for eat, their sleeping, and their exercise. Being home as parents, you can do exercises together with them. I hope all of this is giving you all the information that we have. Amol, we will take all the questions at the last 10 minutes. So please mark all your questions and we will take the questions that you all have. So don't worry. We will take the questions later. So what should we do in case of common cold or fever, now in this situation if someone has? And also, what about vaccinations? Because some kids have missed their vaccination due to the lockdown, sir.
So with fever, fever is not normal. It doesn't happen like that in kids. It happens because of infections, or only sometimes it happens because of rigorous activity. In either cases, you need to consult your pediatrician. That's the rule. Fever cannot be ignored. Any kind of fever. Okay. So regarding vaccinations,
don't just become doctors and give Crocin at home or give any. Parents should not start giving medicines on their own if it's fever.
Ideally, they should not start giving medicines. Suppressing fever is one thing, but suppressing without determining what the cause is something which should be avoided. So you should consult your pediatrician, find out what the cause is. If it's a simple cause, then suppressing fever for 5, 6 days by giving paracetamol, something like that is okay. But if you don't know the cause, you should not do anything at home as well.
Correct.
So regarding vaccinations, the recommendation was not to avoid your vaccinations, but
Okay.
since most of the parents were afraid to get out of their houses, see the condition hasn't been better since in last 2 months.
Yeah.
It is going to be worse and worse as days goes on. So don't avoid your vaccinations. If at all you have missed certain vaccinations, there is always a catch-up immunization schedule. So if you have missed one dose, then there is a rule by which those vaccines can be given again to your kids.
Okay.
There are only certain vaccines which are given only up to a certain age, and they cannot be given after that certain age. If you
Okay.
have missed any vaccine, you consult your pediatrician, get a catch-up immunization schedule done with him, and go for that vaccination.
Awesome. I hope that clears your doubt, guys, that there is a specific age by when you need to take certain vaccinations. So do not avoid it. Please ensure that you're taking your vaccinations of your children on time. And don't give over the counter medicines in case of fever. Please consult and only then give. Great. So we have Ketki here who's asking, my son is 12 years old and he always have dark circles. Please advise.
So it can be familial, first thing. It can be normal, I say. It is
Okay.
common in the families. Second thing is it can be because of iron deficiency or vitamin deficiency. So you have to find out what the reason is. You can get a blood test done, simple blood test done. You find whether he is suffering from iron deficiency or any deficiencies like vitamin B12 or vitamin B6, and you
Okay.
supplement them. And
Super.
she has also asked the question that he gets angry quickly. So it is
Yes.
common with kids having iron deficiency to lose their temper easily. So it is common. It is not exactly the diagnosis, but I'm just telling you it is common with iron deficiencies.
Superb. So I hope, Ketki, that answers. It could be because of the deficiency that the first thing you should do is
Yeah,
do
and
a
another reason might be
Mhm.
yeah, and another reason might be lack of sleep and a large amount of this
Screen time.
screen time.
Yes.
So that need to be avoided.
So I think, Ketki, everything is in control. Sleeping and screen time can be controlled by you. And once you've done the blood test, you will be able to figure out if it's the iron deficiency or any other vitamins deficiency, and then have the proper dosage and what should be given to the child. I hope that answers your question, Kate. So, great, sir. You spoke that physical fitness is very important for in kids, especially for building immunity. Also, again, they are full of energy, and now they cannot go out. The schools are also online, so they are home the whole day. So, sir, how much physical activities do kids need to do daily? And if you could throw some light on that.
See, the physical activity or the pattern of exercises that can be done in kids, they vary with age. So if you have a 2 or 3 year old, they have just started running around, hopping. They can run, hop, they can ride tricycles. So for these kids, there are two types of activities. The first is the structured activity, which is adult supervised, and second is the unstructured activity, which we can call active play. So, free play. So it is recommended that for 2 to 3 year old, he needs to have structured adult supervised physical activity for 30 minutes at least. So with that, I mean that they should parents should play with them for 30 minutes, and it should involve some kind of physical activity. This can be as simple as just holding their hands and playing rocking back and forth, or just touching your feet and walking with your feet on the ground. Things like that. Also riding tricycle with someone who is walking alongside, or just going out and running, climbing stairs, hopping, these kind of activities. So animal walks, we can say. So those are supervised activities. And the second is at least 60 minutes of unsupervised activity, which is free play. So whenever you ask kids to go out and play, they play on their own. They don't need supervision for certain types of
Correct.
activities. So I have got a garden at the backside of my home. When I send my kid out, he plays on his own. He does something, he collects stones and all. That is unsupervised or unstructured physical activity. Another important thing is whenever kids at this age if you find them inactive for over 1 hour, so that is not something which should happen. So kids,
Okay.
make sure your kids are not inactive for more than 1 hour, except while they are sleeping.
That's a great insight.
And for older kids like 3 to 5 year olds, which we call preschoolers, again you have to encourage. So with these kids, if you have given them a lot of screen time, so they sit in front of TV and don't do anything at all.
Correct.
So you have to encourage activities in them. Again, same kind, structured and active play, structured and free play. So structured activities, you can play with them games like hopping, running, hula hooping, skipping ropes. Certain 4 or 5 years olds can do that. Show them different kinds of exercises. Let them choose what they want to do. At these ages, kids, they need a lot of variety in the things they play. So make sure you have the proper equipment at home, like jump ropes or hula hoops or skateboards, something like that. And in these kids, bone strengthening exercises are also important beyond 3 years. So
Okay.
this includes jumping around, running. These are bone strengthening exercises. Make sure they take stairs while climbing up to their house. Avoid using lifts. And also you can do is you can try on certain organizational sports in them like cricket or football. So not everyone embraces them, but if someone embraces, then you can try out. And among the older kids, that is the school age kids after they are 6 year old, so there is specific recommendation among them. They have to do the structured physical activity at least 1 hour daily. These include aerobic activities which involve large muscle groups for long time. So these includes running, cycling, swimming, skipping, those kinds of things. And they also need to do bone strengthening exercises at least 3 times a week.
Okay.
Apart from that, they can also involve themselves in organizational sports. So now during the COVID times, it is difficult to have organizational sports.
Correct.
But
Correct.
if a person, like if there are 3 people in the home, they can play cricket or football or things like catching the ball, catching the disc or something like that, or even basketball if they have got the small basket at home, or there's a game on the mobile like you throw the paper crumbs in the dustbin. So that kind of games can be played with the kids of that age. And these kids are very open to playing or trying out new things,
Correct.
the school going kids. So you can try variety of games in them. And apart from that, dancing and all those things are other activities which can be encouraged by parents.
Super. Thank you, sir, for actually telling it age wise. So I hope all the parents of different age group have got their answers. There is structured play, there is independent play, there are also organizational games that you could include in your child's life. Sir, we have Praveen Javle who's asking something related to physical fitness. He wants to know at what age kids can start to train for running as a sport and when they can participate in running events, how much distance maximum they can target or should target.
So so train for running starts when kids start running. So normally kids start running at the age of 1.5 years. So
Correct.
whenever they run, it's for them, it's like training. They are doing something new. So if you are a good role model, younger kids, and they try to run with you. So that answers the first question. The training is nothing like what the older adults do or the certain kids who have got championships and competitions do. Until 5-6 years, it's better to avoid competitions. Okay, so training is just running alongside them, just making sure that running properly.
Super.
And when can they participate in running events? So running events are like I said, when you participate in running events, you get so much motivated by it that you want to participate it over and over again. And nowadays there are lots of kids event, not nowadays, but back then before the COVID times, there were lots of kids event coming up where the kids were asked to do 300 or 500 or 1 kilometer runs.
Correct.
So you should never miss taking your kid to that event because that's what stimulates them to take up running seriously.
Correct.
And the kids who start early, they develop a very good fitness base or lifestyle at an early age, and they embrace that thing. So they always lead a healthy life.
Awesome.
And the third question was how much distance maximum they can participate. So there is no specific thing. What I recommend is smaller kids should run only until they feel like running is a fun. So max 200 meters for someone up to, and for someone who is up to 10 years old, max 1 or 2 kilometers. See, when you run after a certain distance, doesn't finish the race, which is 2 kilometers long. So run only until there is fun in running. Otherwise, they lose the interest in running.
Great. I hope that answers your question, Praveen. First, start enjoying the whole feel of running with your child. Encourage them to go for events. Of course, right now there are no events, but there are a lot of kids marathon, a lot of kids walkathon that happens. You should participate with them. So I think this has answered your question. So we have Vinod Borole here, who's also asking, what are your thoughts on yoga for children?
The kids are very flexible, so starting early is good for them. So yoga is something that can be encouraged.
Super. So Vinod, I
won't
hope
go
that
deep into it because I'm not an expert.
Great. So it is something that you can start, Vinod. So his thought is it's great, and yeah. So Pallavi, again, gymnastics. I'm sure Sir has the same view. Kids are flexible, so you could start
Yeah,
gymnastics.
recommended.
It's
But
recommended.
in the school going age.
Yeah.
In the school going age, if they are interested.
So if they are interested, please make them go at the school going age. So we had a very interesting question by Aisha Sayed. She's asking, what causes graying of hair in children?
Yeah, I didn't get you.
What causes graying of hair in children? Those white hair, why do they come
So
in?
there are multiple factors. Mostly it is usually mineral deficiency. Certain minerals they cause, but it's very difficult to point out what causes graying. It can be familial, but usually it is reversible in kids. That's what we have seen. There are different treatment modalities available for that. You can just give some multi-mineral or multi-vitamin syrup to them, and that can see the graying usually happens in certain kids who take a lot of stress and whose diet is not very good. You have to make sure the diet is good.
So is it also genetic? If in parents
There
the
is
graying.
certain genetic factors.
All right, Aisha, I hope that answers your question. So we have Mamta Sherawat here. She's asking, my daughter is 3 years and 8 months old. She's very active, but her weight is constant from last 1 year. It's 14.5 kgs. What should we do so she can gain some weight? First of all, should she gain some weight? She is 3 years, 8 months old, and she's active.
So with her, the 14.5 kg is okay weight. It's an average weight. Okay, first thing. But if she is static for 1 year, so you need to sort out what the issue is. It can be related to lack of interest in food. That's the most important thing. Kids at that age are resistant to eating. So you make sure you sort that thing out. And the most important thing with related to weight gain is having a good nutritious diet. And in Indians, what we lack is we lack proteins in our diet. So make sure her diet is protein rich and she is taking adequate calories for a of which 20 to 25% should come for proteins.
Okay. So, Mamta, you
and
need
also
to
make sure that she is not falling ill again and again.
Okay. So, Mamta, I hope this answers your question. It's definitely something to look at. The weight is good, but if it's not moving at all, you need to check if the food is not interesting enough. Is there any gap in the food? So please take care of that and check it out. So we have Chetan Maske here, who's saying excellent discussion and excellent speaker. So I thought you should know.
Thank you.
So we have Sujit Kakade here, who's asking a very important question, and I'm sure a lot of parents want to know about it. Sir, in this lockdown, is this lockdown will hamper child's mental health as they are alone in the home and parents are busy with their work? So how to maintain child's mental health?
I think adults are more affected by lockdown than kids. Kids are more resilient. That's what I have found. Okay. So there, see the lockdown, with lockdown, what has happened? One good thing has happened. We have got a lot of
So much
quality
time
time
with
to
them.
spend with our, not just quality,
Absolutely.
yeah, as a quantity as well. So if we indulge, if we dedicate certain amount of that time with to be with our kids, play certain games with them, make sure they are not getting bored throughout the day. The most important mental health issue with the kids might be depression in older kids, because they are not able to meet their friends, they are not able to play with them. So if that time can be replaced by some quality time at home, there are certain workshops going on with them, and in various activities like playing puzzles, board games, memory games. You can do craft like activities together, painting, drawing, gardening, tell them about gardening. So that will help them keep occupied throughout the day. And it's not just during the daytime. You can, at night time, you can make a chore of reading bedtime stories to them. Reduce their screen time. That's the most important thing. So that can help sorting out the mental health issues. Not exactly sorting out, or you can say avoiding the mental health issues.
Super. I also agree with you, sir. And Sujit, it's more of if the parents are more mentally affected and bogged down, it will hamper the child. Otherwise, you can look, it's how you're looking at the lockdown. If you're looking at it positively and seeing that how much more time you're getting with your children, you're getting to eat lunch and dinner together, you can really enjoy this time together while you're working as well. So, and you could do all the other things that sir said and make sure that there are two ways of looking at it. You could either make it look difficult or enjoyable. All the parents who are making it look enjoyable are having fun with their children. Sir, I don't know if you would like to answer this question, but I'll still read it out. Do you recommend Pediasure or Bonvita or other external supplements to kids of age 4 to 5?
Only if parents are adamant.
Sorry,
Only if
sir?
parents are adamant. That's all.
Okay.
Only if parents are adamant about it.
Okay. So Kishori, only if you're adamant
I
to
usually don't
give it.
recommend.
It's not a recommendation by sir, but if you insist and you want to give, you go ahead and give. But doctor is very clear.
Go
It's not a
natural. That's so, as much as possible, go natural. If you want some protein supplement, there are type 1 nutrients and type 2 nutrients. Okay. So type 1 nutrients are for immunity. These include multiple vitamins and minerals, and type 2 nutrients include proteins. They are important for weight gain. So if you want, what is your logic by giving those things? So if you want to improve your immunity, I already pointed out what things you should be giving. And if you want to increase your the weight of the kid, you can increase the protein intake by giving eggs, then dairy products, or nuts and seeds, legumes. So they contain a lot of nutrients or proteins. If you think your kid drinks Bonvita with milk, sorry for that, but that's how it happens. Bonvita is 90% sugar,
sugar.
which is something should not happen. Yeah, sugar. It's 90% sugar, should not be done. If at all you want to give, you give something which has got less amount of sugar and more amount of protein, and it is recommended in kids.
So first thing, go natural, give good nutrients through food itself. If not, then at least go with something which has less sugar and more protein in it. Great, sir. So Ankur Mehare is asking, my daughter is 12 years old. She has white spot. Please give me your suggestions.
There are numerous factors which causes white spots. The most common is B12 deficiency, vitamin B complex deficiency, not specifically B12, but it can be anything ranging from certain skin disorders to certain long-term issues. So you need to see a skin specialist for that. For time being, if you don't want to see a skin specialist, make sure your kids eat a lot of vitamin B rich foods. The yolk in the egg is something which is very rich in vitamin B and various leafy vegetables. So you can try introducing that in your kids' diet.
Super. So, Ankur, first of all, it's vitamin B deficiency probably and other factors long term as well. So, you need to go to a skin specialist and have all the nutrients like Sir said. So, we have Roma Wadhwani here who's saying, my child is 8-year-old, having glasses with big number, and now online classes are going around 3 to 4 hours. What should be my role in precautions for eye care?
First of all, watching the online classes on mobile is something that is not recommended because it is very small. Kids need to strain their eyes. So make sure you can just cast your mobile onto your television set, and that way kids can enjoy the classes. So, and also keep a safe distance between the screen and yourself. That's the one suggestion. The second is include vitamin A rich foods. So with increasing screen time, the dryness in your eyes increases. So having vitamin A rich foods is something that is very important. The third thing is, if at all your kids have itchy eyes because of increased screen time, you can just apply this. When the kids go to sleep, you can just keep a wet cloth on the closed eyes when they go to sleep. That's another thing. So those are the three things. And apart from those 3-4 hours, if you can limit the screen time
Yes.
over the day, so that will be helpful.
Awesome. I hope that answers your question, Roma. We have Sejal Shah here. She's saying, is weight gain a really important issue? If a child is skinny but healthy otherwise, should we bother?
Weight gain is a very important issue. Should not happen. So and there are certain kids who don't gain weight at all, even if they eat anything. So
Correct.
something that should be proceeded with caution. Your kid doesn't put on weight doesn't mean you can give him all kinds of sugars to him or things that can increase weight. Okay, so both are issues which need to be handled in a different way.
Okay.
If your kid is skinny and you want him to be slightly stronger, depending upon his age, you can increase his first thing is increase his protein intake. Like
Correct.
I said, 25% is something. 25% of the calories, total calories, should come from protein. I'm stressing this again and again because calories coming from proteins are very important for muscle development. And second thing is, if you're giving proper amount of protein, and your kid is not active at all, that is not going to help. So make sure he is active throughout the day. He plays certain games. He doesn't have to do the gym kind of exercises.
Correct.
The routine exercises, running around, playing, jumping, those kind of things, or climbing stairs, those kind of things help if his protein intake is good. Just make sure being skinny doesn't mean you have a free license to eat all kinds of sweets.
Exactly. Very well said, sir. And Sejal, I hope that answers. It doesn't give a license to eat junk. It doesn't give a license to eat a lot of sugar because it's going to hamper inside even if the weight gain is not happening. So you must take care of that. Sir, on that note, could you suggest what should be a food plate of a child look like? Like you said, 25% should come from protein.
So I won't comment on food plate because that differs with the households. The normal table plate we eat when we were kids, that was thing which was ideal. Okay, yeah. So on a daily basis, if you are taking 1,000 calories, so 50% of those roughly, I'm just telling the rough figures. 50% of those should come from carbs. 30% of those should come from fats. And mind you, fats are good. They are very important for your body. There was a common misconception that fats are bad. So the bad fats are the saturated fats, which should not be more than 10%. Okay. And also the trans fats, which come in the fried foods. So 30% should come from fats. and 20% should come from proteins. Okay, so that is the macros. About micronutrients, which include vitamins and minerals. Okay, so there is a required daily allowance chart which is available, and giving nutrient in that specific amounts is very difficult. So if your child is healthy and he is eating proper diet which contains vegetables, fruits, grains, cereals, then legumes and dairy products, he is getting ample amount of micronutrients and macronutrients. If he is avoiding certain kinds of foods, now kids are resistant to eating leafy vegetables. So what you can do is you can make parathas and add a leafy vegetables in them, or you can make something like palak rice or soups, and you can add leafy vegetables in them. So you have to improvise slightly with that. Another thing with vitamins is certain kids like certain foods of a lot. So with vitamins, most of us know that there are two types of vitamins: the fat soluble and water soluble vitamins. So with water soluble vitamins, there's not an issue. So you can eat as much as oranges you want, as much as strawberries or amlas. But with fat soluble vitamins, there is a thing which is the if you take certain vitamin in excessive amounts, there are certain issues that can happen with kids because of increased vitamin intake. So you have to make sure that something everything falls in a place. Okay, so there are camps happening about regarding vitamin A doses, usually given in the government hospitals or certain societies, or they arrange camps for vitamin A. Doesn't mean that your kids need vitamin A every now and then, every month. Okay, so the recommended is once in 6 months. So don't exceed that. And also regarding the nutrients, this food plate, sugars, like I said, should be avoided. Synthetic sugars. Sugars have got opioid-like effects on your. So if you eat 2 spoons of sugar today and tomorrow, you'll feel like eating more and more again and again. So you
It's addictive.
get dependent on that. Yeah, and it's very dangerous.
It's something all parents should be very cognizant about. Like Sir said, sugar is addictive, and we don't even realize because it's so openly available and it's in all the food. If you're eating it today, you'll feel like eating it in the afternoon, then in the evening, and it will become addictive. So, the one thing that you should eliminate from your house is the synthetic sugar. Very, very important. Sir, do you also, so do we need to do tests for children also regularly to check if the vitamins are at like a good amount, not required?
Yeah. Once in a while, if you feel like your kid is looking pale,
Only then.
there was one question that he has got white spots on his skin.
Correct.
Too specific, or he has got some bone pains, like they ask you to massage their legs at night, something like that needs to the kids needs to be done the specific test for that.
Okay. Otherwise, if they're playing, they're healthy and they're eating, then it's
No.
all good. No need. Great. Sir, I would like to know what's the adequate time for a child to sleep? How much time should a child sleep? And why is it important for a child's development?
So the time changes as the child goes old. So for someone who is an infant until 1 year of life, it is about 12 to 16 hours of sleep. Beyond that, an older kid, say 2 or 3 year old, sleeps for 12 to 14 hours, 12 hours, you can say average. Beyond that, the sleeping time goes on decreasing, but the quality of sleep increases. Okay. So until 2 years, there is a lot of night awakenings. After 2 years, they usually don't get awaken at night. Also, as the age grows, then daytime napping also decreases. So someone whose a kid is 5 or 6 year old, he might resist sleeping in the afternoon. Okay, so that's okay if he's having quality sleep at night. Okay, and the importance of sleep is because first thing is kids, they grow at night. It has been said, everyone, if you can ask your grandfathers and grandmothers, they will always tell that kids, they sleep and that's where they grow. And there is a scientific basis for that. The growth hormone, which is responsible for the growth of the kids, it is mostly secreted when the child is in deep sleep. Okay, the second thing is whatever the kids learn during the daytime, they process that thing and it gets set in their memory if they are having deep sleep. Third thing, your body needs rest. If your kid is sleeping well, then that means getting adequate rest so he can be recharged and be active throughout the day, the next day. Fourth thing is immunity increases. I told you, like, the secretion of cytokines and T cell circulation increases during deep sleep. So those are the 4 or 5 things that are the benefits of sleeping well. But the problem with kids are, like I said, they are very resistant to sleeping early at night. So you have to
Correct.
make sure you follow a specified schedule of bedtime. Wake up time is not important, but going to bed, the time at which the kids go to bed is very important. They should not be like one day they sleep at 9 p.m., then the other day they sleep at 10, 11 p.m. So in this case, parents play a very important role. They should make sure the bedtimes are fixed, bedtime chores are fixed. Like, you have dinner, you go for a 20-minute walk, then you come back, you tell a bedtime story, and then you sleep. So you need to have a fixed schedule. Kids, not just kids, the parents, they should make sure that they should avoid screen time at least 1 hour before going to sleep. So that's the rule. So what happens with Netflix and Amazon Prime? Parents, they binge watch the series. They want to finish the series in 2 days, so they keep on watching this. And kids, they don't pay attention to series. They just keep on playing until the lights are off.
Correct.
So parents should play a very good role model here.
Superb, sir. So, Ankush, like you're asking, what is the ideal sleep time for kids at night and daytime? Sir just mentioned that. And he also said that parents are a role model. So, whatever we do, our children are going to imitate it. So, if you want to watch Netflix, you cannot expect your child to go and sleep. So, lights out every day, same time, so that it becomes a routine and a ritual together as family. So there's a very interesting question, and I also want to know this. Praveen Javle is asking how to channelize hyperactive child's energy in constructive activities. Any plan in future for formation of Runaholics Junior Group?
So almost all kids are hyperactive. There is no kid which is hyperactive. So hyperactivity, along with lack of no attention span, is something which needs to be consulted. So no attention span is something, kids don't listen to you. They don't. They lack eye to eye contact. That is something needs to be sorted out. Okay, that rarely happens. 1 in 1,000 kids have got that problem. But hyperactive kid with limited attention span, like the kids until 5 or 6 year olds have got a very low attention span. Even if we ask them to watch cartoons on television, they will watch for 30 minutes. After that, they
Right.
will keep the television on, keep watching cartoon, and do something else along with that. They'll do skipping, they'll run around, but they don't want the challenge to be changed. So that is less attention span. So that is normal. So how to channelize that hyperactivity energy into constructive activities totally depends upon your skill. Okay, so I'll tell you what I do. I have only been recently doing this. So in afternoon before going to sleep, so my kid sleeps. He's 5-year-old plus, and he sleeps daily in the afternoon because we make him do so. So what we do is we stay. We have a two-story house. So I ask him to race from first floor to second floor,
Oh, wow.
and then touch the bicycle and come back again. Do this 5 times. I race with him, and I make sure that he wins always. So this thing is, I always allow him to win. So so his energy is expended in a proper way. He's working out as well, and he gets tired after that. So those 3 things make him sleep well in the afternoon.
Super.
So that's how you do it. Even at night, you can try, or in the evening, you can try going out with your kid. If you got a track or a plain empty road in front of your house, you can ask them to indulge in activities like hopping, jumping, skipping, those kind of things, or sprinting. Uh, for hyperactive kids, if you have a garden, you can ask the kids to help with digging or shoveling the earth, something like that, planting trees. So that's how you use the energy in the kids in constructive activities.
Super. I think, Richa, your question
Any
is
plan of
answered by
formation of
that.
Ranolix?
Yes, sir. Any
Ranolix
plan
Junior
of?
Group is an,
It's not in your
let's
plan.
say,
I think something to think about at least.
Kids lack attention. With adults, it's like if they decide to do one thing, we
They'll
know that
continue.
running has got significance and something which can give time. So we can dedicate our total fitness activity in fitness in running activities. For kids, they need to explore different types of activities, not just running. They can explore dancing, they can explore trekking, hiking, yoga, cycling, swimming. So just limiting their activity to running is something I don't recommend.
Super. I think that's a very well said point. You should not limit your child at a young age only in one thing. They need to explore. And you never know, sir. Today they are good in cricket. After a year, they'll really start enjoying tennis. So you need to give them exposure to all the sports and all the activities. Wonderful. So we have Supriya here who's asking, does lack of vitamins affect on concentration?
So they say that you are deficient in certain vitamins and that's why you lack concentration. It's nothing like that. Your diet needs to be good in nutrients, all kinds of nutrients. And specifically, there is no specific vitamin which deficiency of which can cause lack of concentration. Usually, iron is something which is considered when the kids lack concentration. They have got tantrums or they get tired easily. It's mostly iron is something which is taken into consideration, but not with vitamins.
Okay, so that's not true. I hope that answers your question, Supriya. All right, the last two questions, and we've just have some internet issues, so don't worry, sir will join us back. In the meantime, for all the ones who are new today, please don't forget we have a webinar on freedom from PCOS, which is coming on this Sunday at 11 a.m. There is the link for the webinar. Do join it. We are going to speak about its impact, what it is, how does it hamper us, what is the root cause, and how you can get freedom from it. Also, we have a group where we discuss all the pillars of immunity. You can be a part of it. So do click on the link and become a part of it. Sarav sir is joining us back. He might have had an internet issue. So we will pick up the questions. We will take your question, Pallavi. We have a question from Nitin as well. Dhanraj, is it normal for kids not sleeping in the afternoon? Absolutely, it is normal as long as they're getting good sleep, good quality sleep at night. What's important is to make sure that they're sleeping on the same time every night. And that's why as parents, it's important for us to have a routine. Like have your meal, switch off the phone and TV at least an hour before going off to sleep. Have the ritual of brushing your teeth, washing your face together. And then ensure that you're going off to sleep at the same time every day. This will definitely help, and it's absolutely normal for them not to sleep in the afternoon. I hope that answers your question. All right, we have sir back with us, and so Poonam, how to check whether your kids are healthy or not? If they're eating all the meals nicely without throwing any tantrums, if they're playing regularly, if they're sleeping regularly, it's a good sign. So as long as there is no issue that you see and they're growing appropriately, that is an indicator that they are healthy. So there is nothing specific that you'll have to check to find out if your child is healthy or not. But if they are lethargic, if they are not showing interest in anything, if they are lacking concentration, if they are throwing tantrums while eating food, if they are not sleeping appropriately, then it's something to go and visit a doctor for sure. And we have Dr. Satav back with us. Just waiting for him to connect. There is some internet issue happening right now.
Sorry for that.
And he's back. Welcome back, sir. We have all our audiences waiting with their questions, and we have a lot of questions being asked.
Sorry for that.
No, not at all, sir. So we have Abhijit asking, is non-veg food good for kids?
It depends what you are giving. So the thing is, red meat is something that needs to be avoided because it is very high in saturated fat. Otherwise, it's good.
Super. So avoid red meat, but other than that, if you're a non-vegetarian and there is non-veg cooked at home, it's something that you would give to your child. So we have Pallavi here who's asking which exercise is recommended for a 8-year child with juvenile rheumatoid arthritis.
This is something which is beyond my expertise. You should need to see a specialist for that.
Great. So Pallavi, that's something you'll have to see arthritis specialist. It's something which they will be able to tell you appropriately. So, sir, on that note, we've covered all our questions for today. Are there any thing that you would like to say before we part ways and say thank you to all the audience? Is there anything you would like to tell the audiences, sir?
Yeah, sure. I just want to tell you that for younger kids, parents are role models for them. Okay, so be active yourself, eat properly yourself. The kids will follow you.
Super.
Okay, don't pamper your kids. For younger kids, pampering is something which has got a very bad effect when they grow old. Third thing is, don't force your kid into doing something so they can lose interest in that thing. Okay, if your kid doesn't like organized play, if they doesn't like playing cricket, so don't they force them to play cricket. Ask them to get involved in something else. So that's another thing. And sleep is very important because I always try to stress on sleep because whenever some kids come to me for health certificate for school admissions, I ask them what is the school time, what time the bus comes to pick the kids. If it comes before 7 o'clock, that's not good because then your kid won't be awake properly. So make sure your kids go to school when the classes start after 8 a.m.
Wow.
Okay, because sleep is very important. So those are the few things I would like to. And see, if you are fit yourself, the kids try to imitate you.
Correct.
Okay. So try to live a healthy lifestyle yourself. So your kids also uh, get a healthy lifestyle. And another important thing is for girls, especially girls between 10 to 20 years of age, when the bone development occurs, doing this bone this impact exercises like jumping, skipping, hopping, running, those are impact exercises. They put a lot of stress on your bones. So if your bone is put into stress, then the bone development will happen very good. So if girls especially, they are between 10 to 20, they do a lot of bone strengthening exercises so that they don't get problems related to osteoporosis which happen later in their life. So if a girl is active when she is in the primary school or in the secondary school, her osteoporosis related things will be either be delayed or can be prevented when she is older.
Superb. I think that's a very, very important point you've said, sir. We are. So we have Sanjay here. This is the last question we'll take. He's asking, my daughter wakes up midnight and starts crying. She talks in sleep. Anything that he can do?
See, talking in sleep is normal. Is not an abnormal behavior. Waking up at midnight and starting crying, it depends upon the age of the kid. It can be normal or it can be abnormal. So the normal thing is teething related issues.
Okay.
Whenever teeth they erupt, they get a lot of irritation in the gums. So when they switch from non-REM sleep to REM sleep, there is a certain second or 2 seconds of wakefulness in the kids, and if there is pain, they just get up and start crying.
Okay.
That's one thing. The problematic thing, certain problems that cause night awakenings or crying at night include colic. Then there are diaper rashes in kids, so whenever they pass urine, they get a lot of irritation, they start crying. So those need to be sorted out by visiting the pediatrician. The reasons can be different, and like I said before, beyond 2 years, night awakenings reduce.
Correct.
So kids usually don't wake up at night beyond 2 years.
Lovely. Excellent session, sir. Thank you so much for accepting this invitation and being a part and answering all the questions of our audiences. It's been a great help for parents to cope up in this lockdown, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you,
It's
sir.
been pleasure to be on this platform and answering the questions. In fact, I got something to talk about after a long time. Normally, I talk about adult fitness. I've never been into kids fitness. So this made me explore this new topic,
We are
which is
we are
important
glad.
in a way.
Yes. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you. Take care.